He first saw her on a night when the desert wind screamed like a warning from the heavens. A night so dark, the stars hid in fear. He wasn't the kind of man who stopped for anyone. Theo Kane, the cowboy with a past drenched in gunpowder and regret, a drifter whispered about in saloons, and cursed by sheriffs across the frontier. But when he found her standing alone beside her broken wagon, her lantern flickering in the storm, something inside him faltered. She wasn't supposed to be there. No woman with hazel eyes burning like wildfire and courage stitched into every breath should vive in wandering the desert alone. Her name was Elena Hart, daughter of a powerful rancher and promised to a man Theo despised yet. Merrick, a ruthless tyrant who twisted the law like barbed wire. Theo didn't want trouble, but trouble was written in the way she looked at him, unafraid, as thunder rolled across the sky. "You shouldn't be out here," he said. Her voice didn't tremble. "Neither should you." And that was how the forbidden began. He tried to ride away. God knows he did. But the storm unleashed its fury, lightning sparking across the mountains, sand lifting in violent spirals, thunder cracking open the night. He could either leave her to die or fight fate itself. So he hauled her onto his horse, feeling her heartbeat against his chest as rain stabbed the desert like falling arrows. They reached an abandoned hunter's cabin, its roof barely clinging to the wind, its windows rattling like they were begging to break free. Inside, shadows from the campfire twisted across the cracked walls. As Elena removed her soaked shawl, her wavy dark brown hair dripping over her shoulders, Theo tried not to look. He was a man who had mastered restraint, but he couldn't resist the pull she carried. The pull he had no right to feel. She stepped closer. "Why are you running from me?" He swallowed hard. "Because one in you could get us both killed." The danger came sooner than expected. Footsteps crunched outside. Hooves stamped in the mud. Judge Merrick's hired gunman led by Deputy Cormac. A man with a smile colder than a rattlesnake's heart had tracked them through the storm. Theo blew out the lantern and whispered, "Stay behind me." Elena didn't listen. She stood by his side, gripping his arm, her hazel eyes defiant as the door began to shake under heavy fists. "Open up." Cormac snarled. "The judge wants his property back." Theo's blood boiled. Calling her property was enough to make a saint draw iron. The cabin creaked as rain blasted against the wood, the wind howling like a wounded beast. Theo cocked his revolver. "Elena," he murmured. If anything happens, she cut him off. "I choose you." No law, no judge, no fear. When the door shattered, chaos erupted. Gunfire burst like firecrackers. Sparks leaped from the walls as bullets tore through them. Theo tackled Elena to the ground, shielding her with his body while splinters flew like knives. He rolled, fired once. Twice Cormac screamed and dropped, but more men stormed forward, shadows twisting through the lightning-lit doorway. Elena grabbed a fallen rifle with trembling hands and fired into the night, surprising even Theo. "I'm not letting them take me," she cried. Theo felt pride burn through him. This woman wasn't just brave, she was unstoppable. The climax hit when Judge Merrick himself stepped into the shattered doorway, drenched from the storm, hatred dripping from his glare. He aimed his gun straight at Elena. "You belong to me," he hissed. Theo rose slowly, rage turning his blood molten. "She belongs to no one." Merrick laughed. "Then die for her." The shot came fast, but Elena moved faster. She shoved Theo aside, taking the bullet in her shoulder instead of her heart. Her scream tore the night open. Theo roared with fury and fired, his bullet hitting Merrick square in the chest. The judge fell, gasping in disbelief as the storm swallowed his last breath. Silence followed. Only the rain and Elena's shaky breaths filled the air. Theo pulled her into his arms, feeling his world collapse. "Why would you do that?" he whispered. She smiled weakly, pain trembling on her lips. "Because you're the only man who ever saw me, not as property, but as a woman worth fighting for." Theo carried her outside as dawn broke over the desert, the sky glowing with gold and sorrow. They had survived. But survival in the Wild West didn't guarantee a future. As he placed her gently on his horse, she touched his cheek. "Don't leave me." He hesitated. Staying meant war with every lawman loyal to Merrick. Leaving meant losing the only woman whose voice had ever quieted his storming soul. He made his choice. But what happened next, that's a story for another dawn. If you want part 2 of this forbidden love story, tell me in the comments and subscribe for more Wild West Tales.